Y'all, for a long time, I could not grasp the concept of why this would happen. You see couples that have been together for years, been together for years prior to having a baby. Then it's when they had that baby, by the time the baby's first birthday, they not together no more.
What about a baby be making y'all break up?
I hate to break it to you, but having a child is going to 100% completely change your relationship. You may wonder why all these celebrities break up and all this stuff after they have kids, or why parents aren't together anymore after they have kids.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are diving into a topic that a lot of couples experience but are often scared to talk about. Yes, that is the reason why couples separate immediately after having a child. If you're new on my channel, welcome. My name is Cynthia. Please do not forget to hit the subscribe button, join the family, and also do not forget to like this video. Let's get this video to 200 likes, can we? It really helps my video actually, so smash that like button. And with that, let's get right into this video.
What about a baby be making y'all break up? I got one. Let's talk about it. If you was to ask me before I had a baby, why do I think couples break up when they have a baby? I would say it's because men don't want responsibility and they want women to do all the work. But now that I have a baby, I can honestly say postpartum. People say, oh, postpartum is a chemical imbalance, hormone imbalance, and it pretty much just have women acting like not themselves. And it's okay, I can understand that. That is an understatement. You turn into a completely different person. Postpartum is different for everybody, but I feel like all women can agree when you say you just was not yourself when you was postpartum. Irrational thoughts, irrational anger, irrational sadness, irrational anxiety, everything. You really go half crazy after you have a baby. And I would say the biggest thing that I feel like all women would agree with is the fact that you're super overprotective of that baby. Oh my God. Y'all don't understand. For me, I felt like my baby was going to die. And if she didn't die, I felt like somebody was trying to take her away from me. So I'm talking about that baby didn't lay down. She was constantly on me for 2 weeks straight. I did not put my baby down. I could not do it. If I did, I was up she gone. I was jumping in my sleep. I was feeling like I was Y'all, I see why them mama bears, why when you come around their cubs, it be on sight. I just feel like it's so maternal for us to just be super protective of the baby. And I feel like men don't understand that. And then also, it's not just with family members and people you don't know. It's with the dad too. Get the hell away from my baby. What do you mean you trying to change the baby pamper? You don't know how to do this? I know how to do this. And then the biggest thing is, I feel like for me at least, I just knew exactly what was wrong with her and I knew how to fix it. And dads don't really get that immediately. So I don't want to watch you learn at the expense of my baby's well-being. That's how it was sitting in my head. I'm telling y'all, you do not understand postpartum. I was so mad. I was so angry. I was so sad. And for no reason. And the person closest to you gonna always be the one to get the short end of the stick. And usually that's the child's father. Now, I ain't saying that's why we didn't work out, because we had other stuff going on too. But I'm saying postpartum is a big reason to why a lot of couples just don't work out. And I think it's just women don't expect they're gonna change that much, and men don't expect that the woman gonna change that much. But it happens.
I agree with some of what she said, not all, but there's still so many people that walk out even with the postpartum. I feel like it all depends on your mindset and trying to make things work at the end of the day. Having a baby is often seen as one of the most joyful milestones in life. But as beautiful as it is, the reality is that parenthood can also place unexpected stress on a relationship. And for some couples, this pressure can cause them to separate. So we're going to be looking at the male perspective of why couples separate after a baby.
Why do I think couples break up when they have a baby? I would say it's because men don't want responsibility and they want women to do all the work. But now that I have a baby, I can honestly say postpartum. People say, oh, postpartum is a chemical imbalance, hormone imbalance, and it pretty much just have women acting like not themselves.
No, they acting like demons. Is what they acting like. Call it ace, ace, spade, spade. Male perspective of postpartum is wild, and I'm about to help y'all out because we're never allowed to talk about it. If you've ever been through this, sit back, relax, get ready for a laugh, maybe to relive it and get angry all over again. And if you're getting ready to live through this, or you want children, so you're going to have to, listen up. I did a video the other week talking about how nobody talks about being in a relationship with someone who has a mental illness. The person in the relationship with the person with the mental illness has to deal with more than anyone, even the person with the mental illness. Follow me. If you're dating a girl who's schizophrenic, or if you're dating a guy who's schizophrenic, they're talking to someone who's definitely not in the room. They're sitting here having a whole conversation. They feel normal, at least in that moment. You are standing there like, who the fuck are you talking to? And it's the same thing postpartum. A woman may not understand her emotions and her hormones and everything that's going on, but she's in it. She's living it. She's doing it. If you're a dad and you're dadding correctly, you're going to be sitting there, you're going to be her butler, basically, as you should, right? There are some experiences that every man has dealt with their woman postpartum. You offer help, she says no. You're watching her damn near lose her mind because she's changed the baby, fed the baby, rocked the baby, burped the baby, cuddled with the baby, stood up and walked around with the baby, and the baby's still losing their mind because sometimes babies lose their mind. You make the terrible mistake of saying, let me help you, give me the baby. And she be like, no, I got this. Wait, they don't love you like that shit crazy, and that's gonna happen 37,362 times. And when that's happening, right? After you offer help multiple times, she damn near cuss you out talking about she got it. Here's what you're not allowed to do. You're not allowed to go beat that PS5 on. You have to sit there. You're not allowed to get up and go to the gym. You have to sit there and just be present. Look like this. Baby, let me help you with the baby. No! All right. You need help? Yeah. You need help? Let me get her. I'll change the diaper out. You want me to go make the bottle? You're gonna feel crazy as fuck. There's feelings of resentment. When it's time for you to go back to work, she's gonna be like, you're leaving me at home with the baby all day? I've talked to multiple men. They've dealt with this same shit. Woman doesn't know she's being irrational. She just doesn't want to be home with the baby alone all day, even though you're not allowed to help her with the baby. Don't even get me started on feelings of resentment that women low-key feel when they have to go back to work because FMLA is running out. You can have 57 conversations with her for years before y'all ever have a child, saying, no, I'm cool with a 2-parent household. I want to spend time with my child too. I don't want to be at work all the time. When that FMLA run out and it's time for her to go back to work and y'all got to deal with the child care and, you know, breaking that bond that her and baby done built and da-da-da, it's time for her to get back to the work. Tread lightly, my brother. The best advice I can give you is just be there, be present, and be nice. Because you're about to go through a whirlwind of bullshit. Be there, be present, be nice, patient, positive, and kind.
Wow. He described it from the male's perspective, which a lot of us don't usually see or don't usually hear, if I may, because most times everyone is focused on the lady. Nobody is looking at what the man is going through, right? Financial stress is definitely a huge factor. Children are expensive, regardless of your financial status. I don't know, some people say children are not expensive. They still require money. And how do you get the money? You work for it. It's like if you were taking care of yourself with like 20, imagine a child added. 20 is not going to be enough for you and the baby. So you have to work more. See where I'm going? This financial strain can put a lot of pressure on a relationship. Whether it's worrying about daycare costs, the loss of income from one parent staying at home, or just trying to manage the added expenses. Money problems definitely create significant tension.
Y'all, for a long time, like, I could not grasp the concept of, like, why this would happen. You see couples that have been together for years, like, been together for years prior to having a baby. Then it's like when they had that baby, by the time the baby's first birthday, they not together no more. And I'd be like, damn, like they done lived together all these years. They done been together. They done broke bread. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everything seemed cool. Then I had to think about it. It was there for a good time, but not a long time. I had to think about that. Because in all actuality, while things are good, they're great. And there's a lot of things that come with pregnancy that a lot of men don't think about. The woman might not be able to return to work as soon as they think. They might have to do a little bit more than what they was doing before. And let's just face it, a lot of men just might not be down for that because they might not have never looked at that woman in that light to begin with.
That's true. In as much as a lot of people don't like to hear this part, some men cannot handle the stress that comes with having a child. So when that happens, you see disagreements here and there. Before you know it, you're quarreling often. There's something that just makes you to resent this person. And by the time you think about it, you'll be like, maybe we should just separate. Because at the end of the day, thinking to separate might just give you peace of mind. But often the time, that is usually not the case. It's just for a phase. Once that phase is past, I believe everything will be okay.
I hate to break it to you, but having a child is going to 100% completely change your relationship. You may wonder why all these celebrities break up and all this stuff after they have kids, or why like parents aren't together anymore after they have kids. Now, after having 2 kids, going through postpartum, going through all the changes that motherhood and parenthood brings to you, I 100% understand why parents break up or why parents separate. It's not easy out here. There is a whole different world once you add a kid into your relationship. There's no longer just you and your partner. It's you, your partner, and a baby. And understanding how you both individually parent is such a different experience than just, simply adding a baby into the equation. Now, I've been in a 5-year relationship while having 2 kids during the relationship. And let me tell you, it is not easy. The biggest thing I can say about the relationship is that you have to work together. And you really have to fight for your partner, because there's arguments, there's misunderstandings, there's things that you may say that you don't mean, but you say it anyways. And not to mention the emotions of postpartum, not only in the mother, but like in the father too, or the other person in the relationship. Like, both partners can get postpartum depression, both partners can go through so much stuff, and it really takes a village to raise a family. And don't forget, if you aren't healed from your childhood traumas, adding in a relationship and adding in a baby is going to definitely trigger some things. And let's not forget about all the stress that comes with being a parent.
She definitely just hit the nail on the head. Like, she didn't miss any spots. She added everything that was important into her video.
Why do couples break up after the baby? So I don't have any children, right? But John Cannon did a great explanation as of the man's side of what he experiences while a woman is going through postpartum. Now, the reason why I bring up his video is because it is from a male perspective who is in a marriage where he loves his wife, right? And so he's there to care for her during the time while she's going through postpartum. Now, the reason why I say all of that is to go into what my point is. The reason why a lot of y'all can't make it through that is what I've been saying since the time I've been on this app. Y'all be having babies with people you do not know. You be having babies with people who don't love you, don't care about you. A lot of these men don't know you well enough. They've not built that type of bond to care or love for you in that type of way to deal with your emotions while they're going through postpartum. That's not what he was there for. When he signed up to deal with you, you were a fun time girl. Y'all had fun together. Y'all slept together all the time, and y'all was having a ball. But now when things get serious, he is not here for that. He's not here for that because now it's not fun no more. And he was here for the fun. He wasn't here for your emotions being all over the place. He wasn't here for you crying out of nowhere, yelling at him, telling him what to do. That wasn't what he signed up for, right? Baby or not, that's not what he signed up for. So now that things is getting too serious for him, he get ready to bounce on you and that baby. And again, because he hasn't built that type of bond to love or care for you in that type of way, he ain't built that for that child either. So it's very easy for him to walk away from both of y'all. And now he's somewhere else finding the next fun time girl and going to have fun with her because, again, that's what he in it for. He in it for the fun. He ain't in it for all of that seriousness.
He ain't in it for being able to handle stuff when it get too much pressure on him, right? But you would have known that had you dealt with him long enough to see how he reacts to different circumstances under pressure, right? But because this is the most serious thing that you've ever had to deal with him, because again, you don't know him well enough, now you're truly getting to see how he reacts under pressure, and he doesn't do well. And he definitely don't do well under pressure with a woman that he truly never seen a future with. And that's the other caveat to this conversation, is that man, when he is not invested and does not truly love you in that type of way, he is not going to deal with the extra things that come along with you. When somebody truly love you, they love you through thick and thin. They love you for the imperfect things that you have. But when they don't, and they not truly that invested in you, when you start becoming an inconvenience to them, you start not being as fun as you used to be, it's easy for them to leave you. It's easy for them to just continue to go on with their life because they never truly wanted you in the first place.
She made sense, but I want to also point out that this doesn't always happen to people that have been in a relationship for a short time. It also happens to people that have been in a relationship for a really long time. I saw somewhere where a couple of 10 years separated after having a baby. So it really doesn't have to do with you not knowing the person because you haven't stayed with the person for a long time. If it's the man leaving, I just feel like some men don't see themselves with all the seriousness of being a father, raising a child. Like she rightly said, some men are there for the fun, and when the seriousness of having a child hits them, they can't handle it, so they rather just separate. So women, it's just left for us to know who we are getting pregnant for. Be sure that you are getting pregnant for a kind man, a God-fearing man. I'm big on that God-fearing part, because a man that fears God would not want to leave you and your baby.
So I got divorced when my son was 1, and usually when people hear that, it comes with a lot of questions. Why get divorced with such a young kid? Why not try harder? Why not try for longer? And to me, the answer was simple. Honestly, there was no other answer. When our relationship started to negatively impact my toddler, I knew what I had to do. My ex and I had been together for 10 years, and we worked very well together. We were two incredibly independent people who sat in separate little boats, rowing down the same river, but independently. And the thing that happens when you have a kid is that you can't be in two separate boats. Those two boats have to combine and become one. And that was impossible for us. Luckily, through time, our son is 3.5 now. We have gotten to a very good place. It didn't start that way. So the last thing I want to do is sit on here and bash him. What I will say is when your relationship is going to bring more negativity than positivity to your kid, that's when you really need to look in the mirror and decide what is best. You hear a lot about people who stay together for the kids, and I think that is horseshit. I'm sorry if you are one of those people, I don't mean to offend you, but I think it is the worst thing that you could do. My parents stayed together for the kids, and they got divorced when I was 22, and my entire life I watched a loveless relationship. My parents lived as roommates who barely could get along, and I think that has impacted me and my siblings. So knowing that and having experienced that, watching where my ex-husband and I had come to, and knowing at this point there was no coming back for me and probably for him, I figured have him grow up with a mom and a dad separately who are great parents and love the shit out of him and don't fight. Well, we still fight sometimes, but not in front of our kid. Getting divorced with a toddler is not for the weak. I'm not going to sugarcoat it and sit here and pretend that this has been easy, because it is not. The worst thing in the world and the hardest part of divorce is losing time with your kid. In a perfect world, I would have him 24/7, 365 days a year. But the sacrifice that I make in the small amount of time with him that I do now lose to him being with his dad is made up for the fact that when he is with me, he is getting the best version of me. He is getting the happiest, healthiest, most loving mother that he could ever have. If you're thinking about divorce, I'm not going to tell you that that's the best thing ever and that's what you should do. But I will tell you, don't not do it just because you're scared. Because at the end of the day, whatever it takes to make you the best mom that you can be is what you need to do for your kids.
She said something. Instead of the baby witnessing mommy and daddy fighting every time, they can individually have the best of daddy and the best of mommy without mommy and daddy fighting. That made sense to me, honestly, because some marriages, you just see the couples fighting non-stop. Like, didn't you guys ever love each other before deciding to get married? The frequency at which they are getting quarrels, arguments, misunderstanding. It's alarming. And it's like 2 days cannot pass without them not having misunderstanding. It's just so crazy. And I totally understand what she said. Another factor that can also add to this is the loss of individual identity, which she spoke on a bit. Before the baby, you were individuals with your own personal goals, hobbies, and time to yourself. After the baby, you might feel like you're just mom or dad, and that can be very tough. It can create feelings of isolation and resentment if one person feels like they're sacrificing more than the other. But I mean, stress, communication breakdown, exhaustion, and financial strain can lead to couples to question whether they are still right for each other. And for some, separation might feel like the only way to move forward. But yes, let me know what you all think about couples separating immediately after having a child. Let me know in the comments if you've been in that kind of situation, what made you to take that kind of decision and or whatnot. And yes, guys, I've come to the end of the video. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, do not forget to give the video a fat thumbs up. If you are not subscribed, consider subscribing, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.